Modern Eggs is back, baby, and it's all thanks to Mox Opal and Vexing Bauble. Honestly, this list is straight fire. Let's go check it out. This video is proudly sponsored by Card Market. This is Modern Eggs after the Mox Opal unbanning, and today we're playing a donation deck from Gavin Tomchik. Gavin, thank you for your continued support over the years. I really do appreciate it. Eggs is actually Gavin's pet deck. Gavin is always tinkering with it and trying to improve it, and I've helped Gavin over the years. We were playing the Amulet of Vigor build that had Lotus Field in it recently, but with the Mox Opal unbanning, you don't really need to play that package anymore. On top of that, we have Whir of Invention, which in my gold fishing of this list felt very good, just being able to tutor out more copies of Lotus Bloom at pretty much instant speed, so that was great. But something that I found that I've changed, I made some changes to the list that Gavin sent me. So I added in a Vexing Bauble. After playing the league yesterday, where I just got Force of Willed when I was playing Ruby Storm, Force of Willed, I meant Force of Negation, just nonstop, I decided to add in a Vexing Bauble. You could find it off of your 4 copies of Urza's Saga, and then win the game when your opponent taps out. So there's no Force of Negation, Disrupting Shoal, Flare of Denial, none of that stuff will matter. But on top of that, Vexing Bauble stops Surgical Extraction, Endurance, Force of Vigor. I actually think that Vexing Bauble is quite good in Eggs, because it does sacrifice the draw card if it's not good in that specific matchup. So it's always at least an egg, and that's what we care about here. So playing 1 in the main deck, defined off of Urza's Saga, Reshape, or even Whir of Invention, is quite powerful. And then we have a second copy in the sideboard just in case the first one is counterspelled. So that is what we're trying to do today. And if you're unfamiliar with how this deck works, is the eggs are Chromatic Sphere, Chromatic Star, Conjurer's Bauble, Pyrite Spellbomb, and then our Singleton Vexing Bauble. The idea is that you want to put these cards into play, and then on one turn, you'll start drawing cards and filtering mana. Eventually, you'll play Faith's Reward, usually off of something like Lotus Bloom. And then from there, all of your eggs return. You draw more cards. Eventually, you'll want to play another Faith's Reward. You could sometimes play it off of Beseech the Mirror, which does have a little bit of friction with Vexing Bauble. But if you have Vexing Bauble in play, you could just sacrifice it and draw a card, or you could even bargain it away to the Beseech the Mirror. So it's never a problem. And then you go get another Faith's Reward, you keep on drawing. An easy win with this deck is just putting Bolas's Citadel into play, which you can do more consistently now off of Reshape or even Whir of Invention. So I love that innovation here, just being able to find the Citadel more easily to create just faster, more efficient wins. And yeah, so if you're unfamiliar, Bolas's Citadel has a line of text that people forget. Sacrifice 10 non-land permanents, each opponent loses 10 life. So you can sacrifice 10 permanents, being a bunch of eggs in Citadel, to itself. So you sacrifice Citadel, and then you'll play Faith's Reward, get back the Citadel untapped, and then tap 10 more permanents, or sacrifice 10 more permanents, and then drain them for another 10. That way you don't have to do the Pyrite Spellbomb loop that I find to be pretty tedious. And the loop is with Conjurer's Bauble. You can pretty much draw your entire deck, and then start looping Faith's Rewards, and then ping them for 2 at a time. It's a lot. I don't prefer that when you're playing on Magic Online, but it's an option we do have. In the sideboard, we have Orm's Chant to protect against blue decks, because sometimes they will have mana available and Vexing Bauble just won't be enough. So we have Orm's Chant, so that way, things like Consign to Memory and Spell Snare and all these other cards that can't answer Orm's Chant, Surgical Extraction is another one, they can't be played, and then you play Chant into the Faith's Reward and win. We have another Vexing Bauble and a Defense Grid. When you're playing Whir of Invention and Reshape, having a single Defense Grid goes quite far, so I like having one. We have a Breeding Pool in the sideboard for our Haywire Mites. I tried to find room in the main deck, but honestly, the list is just too tight. I think if you were trying to fit in the Breeding Pool, I would cut the third Conjurer's Bauble, but I don't like that. So I put it in the sideboard. Boarding up a land against blue decks isn't bad either. So we have 2 Haywire Mites and 1 Breeding Pool. Aether Spellbomb is another card you can find off of Urza's Saga. Same thing for Soul Guide Lantern, or even Silent Gravestone. This is another card that could potentially beat Surgical Extraction, that sort of thing. So yeah, that is the deck list. Hopefully you like it. Thank you to Gavin once again for supporting us. And today I'm excited to feature eggs again. So hopefully it's a good video. Hopefully we win a ton of matches. And that's all I've got. So like, comment, subscribe, support the channel, and I'll see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Match number 1, we're on the draw, and our opponent has revealed a Kahira the Orphan Guard, so we will keep this hand. We're going to suspend Lotus Bloom and just see what we can get up to here. Preordain off of a Glimmer Void. I was expecting a control deck, but now I'm thinking that it's probably Song of Creation. They put 2 cards on the bottom. Mox Opal, and they're passing the turn. There's a Saga. We'll play the Saga because I want the ability to go grab Vexing Bauble, and then we'll suspend Lotus Bloom. We'll play Pyrite Spellbomb, pass the turn. This is definitely Song of Creation. They play Gemstone Mine, 2 mana, Manamorphose, and they pass. So Lotus Bloom will lose a suspend counter. Saga will go to the second chapter. We'll play Cephalid Coliseum because this is a land that I would like in play if we're trying to win. We'll play Chromatic Sphere, Preordain. Bottom the island, we'll keep Whir of Invention. Pass the turn. They have land number 3. And they're passing, so we're going to get to Vexing Bauble. That is great news. Okay, so we'll draw for turn. Tap the Saga for mana. And let's go grab Vexing Bauble. We'll play Conjurer's Bauble, play Conjurer's Bauble, play the Otawara, and now we'll pass. So the question is, do I sacrifice the Vexing Bauble on their end step trying to win? I don't know. Because if I miss on the finding of, what is it called, Faith Reward, I end up looking very silly. So we're about to have a Lotus Bloom come off suspend. That is the problem here because I cannot play it for free with the Vexing Bauble in play. So alternatively, I could not sacrifice the Bauble, untap, Whir of Invention for a Lotus, and then just slowly try to draw to the Faith Reward. That would be the safest line. But if I find Faith Reward, it's just better to jam because I would have double Lotus, which makes it very easy to win. My gut tells me I'm supposed to sacrifice the Vexing Bauble, so we'll do that. And now the Lotus Bloom will come off of suspend. We'll play it. Draw for turn. Not what I wanted? Okay, so what to do? We'll play Flooded Strand, let's fetch. Grab an island. And now I'll sacrifice the Lotus Bloom. We'll play... Actually, hold on. Can I think I can just go get Citadel. I didn't think it through, but I think I can just go grab Citadel here. I shouldn't have fetched. 3. So I can leave the Cephalid Coliseum open, or I can leave Conjurer's Bauble open to draw a card. So I want to play Whir of Invention for 6. X is currently 4. Oh no, I have to tap out to put Citadel in play. Right? No, that's 7. That's 1 too many. I've already played a land. We'll do Whir of Invention for 6, leaving Cephalid Coliseum. I'm unsure if I'm supposed to leave the Bauble or the Coliseum untapped. We'll put Citadel into play. Chromatic Star. So that means the untapped land was better. We hit Lotus Bloom. Let's go. Okay, so now we can sacrifice the Lotus Bloom for 3 blue. Now I can draw 3 with the Cephalid Coliseum. We'll make a blue. Draw a card. Auto yield. Another star. That's perfect. We hit Fate's Reward. Let's go. All right, so we're going to play the Bauble, and I will hold control. I am going to play Fate's Reward, and then I'm going to respond. We're going to use the Bauble to put Whir of Invention on the bottom. Ooh, that's spicy. Okay, so I'm going to continue to hold control here. I'll go to 4. We'll play another Faith's Reward. Ooh. Alright, we'll go to 4 life. We'll Whir of Invention. Grab a Lotus Bloom. Sacrifice the Lotus Bloom for 3 blue. We'll draw a card using the Chromatic Star. And now I will activate Cephalid Coliseum to draw 3. Discard lands. We don't need lands. And now Faith's Reward number 1 will resolve. And we'll make a bunch of mana here. Blue, black, white. So I guess I should just draw cards here. Like, I don't need the 4th Lotus Bloom. Don't need a Whir of Invention. It would put me to 1. So if they have Gut Shot, I would lose. I don't want to lose to Gut Shot. We'll make another blue. I can just go get the Zuran Orb at some point. We'll put Whir of Invention back on the bottom. And then Cephalid Coliseum to draw 3. Discard some lands. And the Lotus Bloom. So now I could fetch. I just don't want to go that low on life. So I feel like I've got it wrapped up. Let's not go to a point where I lose the Lightning Bolt. We will reshape. Sacrifice a Chromatic Star. 26 cards left. We'll grab Zuran Orb. Sacrifice the Flooded Strand. The basic island. And Otawara. Alright, 25 cards. I need to pick up my speed a little bit. We'll play Sphere. Play Sphere. Play Mox Opal. Let's draw 3, I guess. Target myself. Discard 3 lands. Alright, we have the win now. We'll play Chromatic Star. What I'm going to do is cast Faith's Reward. And now we're going to use the Citadel. Alright, so they're going to lose 10. In response, I'll add 3 blue, 3 black. They'll lose 10, and now Faith's Reward comes back. Whew, we got it. Eggs. Oh, that felt so good. That was a turn 4 where we were able to disrupt them with Vexing Bauble. Alright, so we definitely want the other Bauble. I think we want the Haywire Mites. We want Breeding Pool, Orm's Chant. Okay, this is a lot of cards. So you could even bring in Into the Flood Maw, but I think I'm going to say no to that one. We'll board out Preordain. It is a good card, but something has to give if you're bringing in Orm's Chant. So that is what I think has to give. And now we need some more cards to cut because we're bringing in Haywire Mite and Vexing Baubles. I'm going to shave down to 2 Beseech the Mirror. I just don't think that we're the combo deck in this matchup. We're the control deck. Maybe shave 1 Conjurer's Bauble and a single Mox Opal. Let's try this. Actually, I could board out a land because I'm bringing in a land. We'll get rid of a basic. Let's try this. Oh, that was so much fun. Gavin, thank you. I am thoroughly enjoying this. I know that I went and got Vexing Bauble game 1, which is a villain card, and that it wasn't in your deck list. But against Song of Creation combo, it seemed very, very good. Game number 2, we're on the draw. I will keep. We have Vexing Bauble and Orm's Chant. It's going to be tough to lose this one. City of Brass, Mox Opal, Everflowing Chalice. We'll play Cephalid Coliseum, Zuran Orb, Mox Opal, Vexing Bauble. Pass. Glimmer Void. I would actually love an Urza's Saga. That would be one of our best draws here. They make a red and a blue. Is this a Meltdown? No, Pented Prism. I was going to say Meltdown out of the Song of Creation deck would be wild. Okay, I mean, they have a very good hand here. They can play Song of Creation next turn. We draw Conjurer's Bauble. We'll play the Bauble, pass. I'm just not in a spot where I can try to win yet. 3 mana. Song of Creation. We're going to let them combo a little bit. Basically, I want them to draw enough cards where an Orm's Chant is going to be crippling. We'll auto-yield, and they can't Pact of Negation. Well, actually, they could... Hold on, there's a downside to me letting them combo. They could draw into... what is it called? An Offer You Can't Refuse. Alright, so they're tapped out right now. This seems like a great time to Orm's Chant. Target you. And they just conceded the match. I will take it. We are now 1-0 with Modern Eggs. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. All right, it's time for the second round. We will keep this hand on the draw. So there is something interesting that you can do with this build. So we have Lotus Bloom that comes off suspend on turn 4. You could just wait a turn to play Urza Saga, and then they will resolve in the order in which you want. So we will suspend the Lotus Bloom, and now we'll just play Island and Ponder. So I think we're supposed to bottom both of these. Actually, the Cephalid Coliseum isn't bad, because it gives me another land for Saga so I can make constructs. We'll keep the Cephalid Coliseum. And then pass. And step they Thought Scour. And they are playing the villain deck. They are playing Dimir Frogtide. The deck that I lost to twice yesterday when I was playing Ruby Storm. So the Lotus Bloom will lose a suspend counter. We'll play Urza Saga. Play Chromatic Star. And Chromatic Sphere. Pass the turn. And step they Consider. Gets rid of a Thought Scour. No, they kept the card on top. My bad. This time they get rid of a Fatal Push. So my game plan here is I'm going to try to apply pressure using construct tokens. We'll see if it works. They still have 6 cards in their hand. They're down to 12. Are you actually just Shadow? Like, why are you losing so much life? They're tapping 3 here for an Oculus. Okay. So they get to Manifest Dread. Lotus Bloom loses a counter. Opal. Opal was a very good draw. We'll play the Opal. Play Cephalid Coliseum. Play Conjurer's Bauble. We actually might be able to beat the Oculus with a Construct. Our first Construct will be a 5/5. This thing flies, though. This does not. So they'll attack for 5. We go to 15. They play a 4th land. On the end step, I'll take 1. We'll make a Construct. And now they Manifest Dread again. Lotus Bloom. So we will play the Lotus Bloom. Draw for turn. Let's make another construct. They're going to fetch. Okay. We have a 7/7 construct. I'm at 14. I could try to get like a Zurin Orb here to gain life, or I can grab the Vexing Bauble. So that way if they ever tap out, we can try to shove. I don't know if they're ever going to tap out again, though. So my choices are like, do I grab a Spell Bomb? Do I grab Zurin Orb just to stay alive? I think we grab Vexing Bauble. Play Scalding Tarn, and we'll attack for 8. They block, and we'll pass. And step they Consider. Gets rid of a Murktide Regent. That is pretty surprising. I think that they might have wanted to keep that just so, because I feel like this game right now is currently about creatures, but I could be wrong. They attack. This puts me to 9. They fetch down to 10 for an Undercity Sewers. And that is a giant dragon. Okay, so it turns out they already had one. And now they get to Manifest Dread again. So this is the turn we have to go for it, because we're dead in the air next turn. Alright, so we'll just start with attacking with both creatures. Okay. So they have lethal. We need to figure out how to win. I guess we'll start by fetching. Let's just thin our deck a little bit. Grab an island. We'll make blue. Draw a card. Another Chromatic Star. What to do, what to do. We'll draw another card. Zurin Orb. Okay, that was actually not bad. We'll draw using the Vexing Bauble. Let's play Zurin Orb. The Force of Negation, the Zurin Orb. Okay, that's exiled. I'll play a Polluted Delta and we'll fetch. Grab the island. So now I have Threshold, and I could activate the Cephalid Coliseum. We'll do that. They have 2 cards left in their hand. I pretty much just need it to not be Counterspell, but it doesn't feel like that's going to be the thing here. We'll get rid of 3 artifacts, and we'll reshape, sacrifice Mox Opal. If they Counterspell this, we actually probably win. We grab a Lotus Bloom, and we'll reshape again, sacrifice a Construct token, grab another Lotus Bloom, put the We'll just play Fate's Reward, I guess. We need this to resolve. Looks like they have Counterspell. Damn. Okay. Ah, what a game. That was good. So we want Orm's Chant. We want Vexing Bauble. We want Defense Grid. Once again, I believe when you bring in Orm's Chant, Preordain just has to go. We'll side out a few copies of Beseech the Mirror. Let's try this. We're on the play for the second game. Sure, we'll try it. A little bummed we couldn't get them to bite on the reshape in game one, because if they counterspelled the reshape, we actually win that game. Ah, bummer. Our opponent with a mulligan to 5. We'll play Scalding Tarn, fetch, grab a basic island, we'll play Chromatic Star, and then we'll suspend Lotus Bloom. Pass the turn. Alright, Lotus Bloom loses a suspend counter. We draw another Lotus Bloom. We'll suspend that. Play Conjurer's Bauble. Pass the turn. They grab an Undercity Sewers. And now they fetch. Raise Psychic Frog. Yep. My best draw by far is the Singleton Defense Grid here, but I'm so unlikely to draw it. 1 out of 51. Saga was not a bad consolation prize. Okay. We will pass. They attack with the frog. We'll go to 18. They play Polluted Delta. We'll just take a draw here. Lotus Bloom. So we should be able to play one Lotus Bloom this turn. We will cast it. And it resolves. So now we'll draw. Polluted Delta. We will pass. They search out another Undercity Sewers. Getting rid of a Psychic Frog. I wonder if I was supposed to bring in the Aether Spellbomb in this matchup. Is that crazy? I think we'll just take the damage from the frog here. And step out fetch. Grab an island. Make a construct. And now this Lotus Bloom will come off suspend. And then I could go grab a Vexing Bauble. So we'll play the Lotus Bloom. Draw for turn. Chromatic Sphere. We'll make another construct. Grab Vexing Bauble. Let's attack for 7. They just take it. Wow. End step, they sink into Stupor. So I have 1 construct remaining. They fetch down to 7. And they play Inoculus. The fact that this thing makes a blocker every turn is not good for me. They have 2 open mana for Counterspell right now. We'll grab Hallowed Fountain. And now they get to manifest Dread. We draw Mox Opal, which isn't great with the Vexing Bauble in play. We'll play Chromatic Sphere. I feel like this is our turn to go for it. Make a blue, draw a card with Chromatic Star. We draw Citadel. So I need to draw into Orm's Chant, and then I could play Citadel and theoretically win. We'll cycle Chromatic Sphere. We did not hit. Let's draw off the Vexing Bauble. We'll use Conjurer's Bauble to put Urza Saga on the bottom. Still no Orm's Chant. We'll play Zeranorb. They Force of Negation the Zeranorb. They have 2 cards left. We'll play Mox Opal. Trying to think here. We'll play Reshape. Sacrifice Mox Opal. Grab a Lotus Bloom. And now we'll play an Opal. So this gets me to Reshape into Defense Grid and then play Citadel. So we're going to Reshape for 2, sacrificing the Mox Opal. We'll grab Defense Grid. And now I can play the Citadel. I just really need to hit like Fate's Reward very quickly. Land was not what I wanted. Whir of Invention for 0. We're going to play the Whir holding priority. Alright, Fate's Reward was not my top card. We'll grab the final Lotus Bloom. Play Chromatic Star. Okay, we're doing it. The Vexing Bauble here, I'll have to sacrifice just to draw a card because it would counter everything else. So we'll draw off the Bauble. Play Mox Opal. We'll draw a card off the Chromatic Star. We found the Fate's Reward. Beautiful. Alright, so we'll add 3 blue. We'll go to 5 and play the Fate's Reward, and then use the Chromatic Star to draw a card. So Fate's Reward will now resolve. We'll keep an untapped Mox Opal. Okay, so now what? I guess I just need to draw off the Vexing Baubles. So I can play Sphere down to 4 life. We found another Fate's Reward. That was really good. Alright, so I will make a white and I'll draw the Fate's Reward. I'll go to 3, play Conjurer's Bauble. Sacrifice 1 Lotus Bloom for white. And now we will activate Boss's Citadel. So I need 9 other things. Alright, so Citadel will sacrifice. Each opponent loses 10. Wow, we got it. Oh, I guess they were already at lower life total because of my construct, so we didn't have to Citadel twice. But we got one. That's good. And I don't believe we ever showed them an Orm's Chant. Should I be bringing in the Aether Spellbomb? I think that the answer might be yes. Let's get rid of one Conjurer's Bauble. Well, this is a hand. I really wish I had another land in it. 10 minutes on the clock. I think I have to mulligan. We'll keep in bottom the Beseech the Mirror. Watery Grave. Thoughtseize. Oh, that's a bummer that they're going to be able to discard the Citadel. Oh, they go after Mox Opal. Okay. Saga was a good draw. We'll play Chromatic Star. They play Sink in a Stupor as a land. They Thought Scour. So this play tells me that they might have an Unearth in their hand. Nile Spellbomb. That's a little annoying. We'll play Chromatic Star. Mox Opal. Play the Conjurer's Bauble. And Urza Saga. Let's see if maybe this ends up being a Construct Beatdown game. They have 4 cards in their hand. They consider. They kept the card on top. Undercity Sewers. They know my last card is Bolas's Citadel. They put Force of Negation to the graveyard. They Thoughtseize. Okay, so they don't have Consigned to Memory for my Construct token here. I think I can just hold the land. I would love it if we won this game with Construct Beatdown. 3 mana for an Oculus, probably. Alright, well, I'm glad I brought in the Aether Spellbomb. We'll make a Construct. So they get to manifest. We draw Reshape. We'll make another Construct. We'll grab the Aether Spellbomb. Play the Scalding Tarn. We'll grab Hallowed Fountain. Bounce the Oculus. Swing. Okay. We need them to not have Unearth here. The fact that they got to put an Oculus to the graveyard off of the other Oculus was very dangerous for us. And they do have Unearth. Ah, that's bad. Okay. So I could take a risky line here of using Reshape to go get a Pyrite Spellbomb to kill the Manifest. But if they have Counterspell, I just get blown out really badly, so I'm not going to do that. We'll just attack with both constructs. We'll kill the Oculus, they'll take 6. They're at 5. We'll pass the turn. They play another Undercity Sewers. Another Unearth. Wow! That hurts. I don't know if we're going to be able to recover from that. They get to manifest. Lotus Bloom. That's a real bummer. Alright, I'm going to draw with Chromatic Star. We'll make a blue. I think how I win this game is I find another Urza Saga. Orm's Chant. We'll suspend Lotus Bloom. Pass. Another Thoughtseize. So this would put them to 3. I need them to be at 2 for the Pyrite Spellbomb. They take the Orm's Chant. They attack for 5 in the air. I'll go to 10. They get to manifest. We're not going to see this Lotus Bloom come off suspend, most likely. I'll probably be dead before then. We'll draw another Lotus Bloom. Not good draws. We'll cycle the Chromatic Star. We draw another Orm's Chant. So there is a world in which they fetch, and then we chant into Reshape into the Pyrite Spellbomb. There's the fetch. And they have Fatal Push. So I'm just dead on board. Okay. I did what I could. This deck is just so good. Alright, we're 1-1. That was still an incredible match. We just didn't happen to win it. So, Gavin, I'm sorry. I'll try to win the next 3. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round number 3, we're on the draw. I will keep. You need 1 more mana with this hand to go search out Lotus Bloom, and then you can search out another Bloom. Oh no, the Dimir deck again. But this hand has explosive potential, which isn't really what you want in this matchup. We'll play Flooded Strand and then fetch. Grab a basic. We'll play Chromatic Star. Pass the turn. So the reason I'm playing Star out on the first turn is on turn 2, I want to play Chromatic Sphere, Mox Opal, Preordain. This gives me more mana plus more things in play, just the most efficient way. We'll play another Chromatic Star, Mox Opal. Looks like they're going to counterspell, oh, maybe. They put an island to the graveyard, and now we'll Preordain, Citadel, and Mox Opal. I don't think I want either of these. We'll put them both on the bottom. Pass the turn. They fetch. They put an Oculus to the graveyard. Very good for them. Psychic Frog with an untapped Sink in a Stupor. Sure. Lotus Bloom drawn. Not great here. We'll suspend that. Play Preordain. Beseech the Mirror, Mox Opal. Problem is, like, our hand just can never beat a counterspell. I think we're going to get rid of the Beseech the Mirror. Another Preordain. We'll play it. I guess we'll keep this. We finally found another land. We'll play the land. Pass the turn. End step, they Thought Scour. Like, realistically, the only way I can win is if they tap out for some reason and then don't have Force of Negation. Like, I guess I could win if I somehow found Saga earlier this game, but I didn't. They discard a Fatal Push. Alright. I mentioned this in yesterday's video, but I'm just so tired of Psychic Frog. Like, I'm so glad it was banned out of Legacy. But playing Modern the last 2 days and just experiencing it again has been like a nightmare. So they could theoretically kill me next turn if I fetch. We'll play Conjurer's Bauble, play Chromatic Sphere, pass the turn. So they're drawing up to 5. They have 15 damage, if I counted this correctly. Discard Snapcaster Mage. So that's 12. They have 3 cards in hand. They could put me to 1. They flip over another Oculus that's lethal. Oh, come on. Brutal. This deck is way too good. We'll bring in Defense Grid, Vexing Bauble, Worm's Chance. Like, am I supposed to be bringing in Soul Guide Lanterns? I don't think so. But I could be wrong. It stops, like, all their unearthed stuff and could theoretically slow down an Oculus. Just seems really bad. So I think we'll try it this time. We'll get rid of Beseech the Mirror just because it's like a clunky card versus the all counterspell deck. Sideboard out Preordain. Now I'm at 61. They got 1 Conjurer's Bauble. Let's give it a whirl. On the play. We will keep, suspend Lotus Bloom. We'll play our Island and Chromatic Sphere. So I thought that I had this league was, even though you're a deck that, okay, so the reason you want to hold fetch lands is for Faith's Reward. So that way, on a turn where your Faith's rewarding, you can thin your deck every time you reward. But I can't but wonder if, because you want to do that, you don't play any Surveil lands. Should there be a Surveil land anyway? Like, 1 couldn't hurt. The list I was sent had 0, and I didn't really think of it before I started recording, if I'm being completely honest with you. But now I can't help but wonder if maybe there should have been 1 Surveil land. Under City Sewers, they kept the card on top. I'll fetch. We'll grab Hallowed Fountain. I would love to draw an Urza Saga. Worm's Chant. They Thought Scour. Unearth and Cling to Dust. They Thought Scour again. Murktide Regent. Thought Scour. Nothing for them to unearth yet. So Lotus Bloom will come off of Suspend this turn. They have 7 cards in hand. We'll play the Lotus Bloom. It resolves. We'll draw. Faith's Reward. So the problem here is that I just don't have anything to do. So we'll pass. Like, I could draw 1 card off of Chromatic Spheres. That doesn't seem amazing to me. Overlord of the Bale Merc. So now they could return Murktide Regent to their hand, and they do. End step, we will fetch, and then we will Whir of Invention for 2. Blue, Whir of Invention. If this resolves, we probably get Defense Grid, but I don't think that it will. Ooh, it does. Alright, Defense Grid. So we really want to draw something else that draws cards here, like Chromatic Star. So we can start with a Whir of Invention to go grab Lotus Bloom. And now we will make white, draw a card, Zurin Orb. So that makes more mana. Sacrifice. Like, honestly, Zurin Orb was not a bad draw there. We'll play Chromatic Star. We'll make a blue. Draw. Vexing Bauble. So I can't play and draw off Bauble if I want a Fate's Reward. Like, I could play the Bauble here, but I can't draw off it because I don't have enough yet. So I have to save this for after Fate's Reward. Because if I play it in cycle, I could risk not drawing the 4th mana. So now we'll play Vexing Bauble from hand. We'll make a blue, draw card. Cephalid Coliseum was such a good draw. Holy moly. Alright, so now we will cycle the Chromatic Sphere. Another Whir of Invention. Let's draw off the Bauble. I think I want to use the Cephalid Coliseum. So I could put Citadel into play here. But I can still do that after Cephalid Coliseum. We'll discard Steam Vents, Orm's Chant, and Aether Spellbomb. Play the Mox Opal. And now we'll Whir of Invention for 6. This gets us Bolas's Citadel. And we hit a land. So I can play Chromatic Star and pass the turn. It's the best I can do. They play land number 4. And then they unearth on the Oculus. They fetch. If this is Sink into Stupor, I think we probably lose. Murktide Regent. Okay. Got a little lucky there. Upkeep, they Manifest Dread. We'll draw. Play Soul Guide Lantern. Exile their Cling to Dust. Maybe I was wrong in the previous match for not bringing in Soul Guide Lantern. We'll Whir of Invention for 0. This goes and gets a Lotus Bloom. Chromatic Sphere. We'll tap the Opal for a blue. We'll play Reshape. Sacrificing Mox Opal. Go grab another Lotus Bloom. Cephalid Coliseum is back. And we hit Fate's Reward. So, hold on. We're going to hold priority. We're going to play the Fate's Reward. And we'll sacrifice the Soul Guide to draw a card. Sacrifice the Lotus Blooms. We'll make a white. Make a white. Make a bunch more mana. Sacrifice some stuff to the Zurin Orb. And now we'll draw 3. Discard. Okay, and now Fate's Reward resolves. Pay life. Oh, we'll exile Counterspell. We'll play Conjurer's Bauble. Put Fate's Reward on the bottom of the deck. Cycle Chromatic Star. We'll play Pyrite Spellbomb. Play Chromatic Star. We'll tap the Opal for a blue. Play Reshape. Sacrifice Mox Opal. The only target left in the deck is other copies of Mox Opal. We'll draw a card using the Soul Guide Lantern. Play a Conjurer's Bauble. We'll put Fate's Reward on the bottom of the deck. Play Chromatic Sphere. Play Soul Guide Lantern. Exile Unearth. We'll draw a card. I'm just looking for another Fate's Reward here. Another Reshape. Tap an Opal. We'll play Reshape. 13 cards left in deck. There we go. Okay, so I'll just draw here off the Cephalid Coliseum. We could actually Pyrite Spellbomb loop because we've drawn our entire deck at this point. We'll use the Bolas's Citadel, sacrifice it to itself. Okay, they lose 10. Fate's Reward. We'll keep this Mox Opal. Exile a few cards in their graveyard. And then we'll activate Citadel again. I love the Cephalid Coliseum technology. Like, that seems great to me. Sweet. We stole game number 2. We will submit. Wow, this hand is good. We will keep. Watery Grave. And they pass. We'll play Chromatic Sphere. Play Mox Opal. Suspend Lotus Bloom. Pass. Except they Thought Scour and hit a Psychic Frog. Flooded Strand. And another Psychic Frog. Lotus Bloom. We draw Flooded Strand. We'll play Chromatic Sphere. Pyrite Spellbomb. Pass. So right now I'm 1 mana short of the play that I would like to make, which is on turn 4, going Orm's Chant in the upkeep before Lotus Bloom comes off suspend, and then play Boss's Citadel. So I need to draw land on my next turn. They Thought Scour, Spell Pierce, and Consider. They discard to Psychic Frog, and it's an Oculus, so now they could unearth the Oculus. Consider. And they're going Beatdown. They have 4 cards remaining in their hand. 3 because they discarded a Marsh Flats. So I go to 17. Lotus Bloom loses that suspend counter. Whir of Invention. I think we're going to just... Actually, should I just Whir now? Yeah, let's Whir now. They're tapped out. If they want a Force of Negation, like, I don't think they're going to because I have the Lotus Bloom coming off suspend next turn. So we will... Actually, I could Whir for 2 to get Defense Grid. I like that. Might as well tap this Chromatic Sphere. Let's make them think that it's for 3. Please resolve. Pretty please. We'll grab Defense Grid. Pass the turn. Alright, they have land 4. So, I really need to draw land. Actually, I just need the Lotus Bloom to resolve, and then I need to draw land. Okay, so with this on the stack, I can Orm's Chant, and then I can cycle 2 cards to draw land to Boss's Citadel. I think that's worth it. So I'm going to Orm's Chant. Ooh, this is dumb because if they have Consign, I get blown out. Why didn't I think this through? And now I'm getting blown up by Consign. I didn't think it through. Yep. That's the punish for being terrible. I guess it will come off suspend next turn. We will pass. I wonder if there was a better way to do that. I was just afraid of Consign countering the Lotus Bloom. And now they can play Counterspell on my Boss's Citadel. So they attack for 3, I'll go to 10. Alright, Lotus Bloom. We'll play it. It resolves, so now we'll draw for turn. Best case scenario, I draw Orm's Chant. Vexing Bauble doesn't actually help me here. Next turn they can draw a card, and then they could deal me 9 if they discarded everything. I think I'm not going to go for it this turn, and I'm just going to cycle the Vexing Bauble on the end step. Maybe even the Pyretic Spellbomb. I think that we're no longer on the Boss's Citadel plan. They discard Counterspell. So do you think you have lethal? Am I missing something? Or do you just want to deal extra damage? They surveil away a Counterspell. So is the plan to put me to like 2 and then keep Counterspell in hand? So they're going to swing for 5. So I go to 5. End step, we will draw a card using the Vexing Bauble. That was bad. We'll draw a card using the Pirate Spellbomb. Ay. Okay. This is it. We draw Polluted Delta. We'll make a blue and draw off Chromatic Sphere. Urza Saga was not a good draw. We'll make a white, draw a card. We draw Orm's Chant. Okay, we will play Orm's Chant targeting you. They counterspell. So I could play Citadel at 5 life. That is not a lot. I still have a land drop. Or I could try to Miracle off Cephalid Coliseum. I feel like I'm just going to play Citadel here. From 5 life. Come on, Zurin Orb. Zurin Orb, I am begging you. Please be on top. That gets Zurin Orb. So we'll sacrifice the Opal. We'll grab Zurin Orb. Oh my, are we doing it? Are we going to Citadel win from 5? We'll play Cephalid Coliseum as our land for turn. We'll tap it for a mana and then sacrifice it. And now we'll Faith's Reward. Oh my, are we actually going to get this? This is crazy. Okay. So we'll add 3 white mana. We'll play the Vexing Bauble down to 5 life. I can't believe this. I just have to win in 9 minutes, which is very doable. Okay. Defense Grid looked incredible here. Let's draw a card using the Vexing Bauble. We'll play the Conjurer's Bauble. Maybe I should have just paid it. No, I couldn't because the Vexing Bauble was in play. Alright, so now we'll cycle. Play Lotus Bloom. Tap the Opal for blue. We'll play Reshape. Sacrifice the Mox Opal down to 9 life. Go grab another Lotus Bloom. Let's use the Conjurer's Bauble to put Faith's Reward on the bottom of the deck. We'll play Aether Spellbomb. Just to be funny, we'll bounce the Psychic Frog. And now we'll make blue, blue. I'll draw the Faith's Reward. We don't need to pay life. And now we'll use the Cephalid Coliseum. Discard 3 lands. Play Faith's Reward. So now we should have enough to Citadel win. First, we have to sacrifice the Bauble. Okay, so now we'll play Chromatic Star, use the Citadel, sacrifice it to itself. Yes. We'll draw, and then Citadel happens. Fate's Reward. We did it. We beat Dimir Frogtide. Holy moly. I could tap and sacrifice all this stuff for mana, but it's just a waste of time. Wow, that was sweet. We're now 2-1. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Alright, time for the fourth match. We are on the play. Sure, yeah, this hand seems great. Leyline? I have no idea what this does. If it's in your opening hand, you can begin with it on the battlefield because that's what Leylines do. It's an equipment that target creature gets +1/+1, has double strike and trample equipped 3. Are you on hammer? Is that what this is? I don't even know. We'll play Steam Vents. Play Preordain. I don't think we want the Vexing Bauble, but we'll keep the second Preordain. Pass the turn. It is in fact hammer time. Esper Sentinel. Okay. Paradise Mantle. Another Whir of Invention. I'm looking for blue lands so that way I can play the Whirs on time. I don't think I'm allowed to keep this Urza Saga. I think we do want the Chromatic Sphere. We'll play the Saga, play Sphere, and now we'll pass. They have their own Saga. Mox Opal, Esper Sentinel, 3 cards remain. Ginger Brute, Colossus Hammer. So I'm probably dead if they just draw a Pure Steel Paladin. We draw a Chromatic Star. The thing is, I can't afford to just not do anything. So we'll play our Star. They'll draw 2. If they draw Pure Steel Paladin, I'm dead. I guess we'll pay 1. Play Mox Opal. Play Conjurer's Bauble. Pass the turn. Their Saga goes up to the second chapter. Witch Enchanter. They hit my Saga. Okay. So they appear to not have it yet. A third Whir of Invention. Oh my. Let's try to use Conjurer's Bauble to put Preordain on the bottom. If I draw a third land, I can Whir on the end step for Lotus and then try to win. Mox Opal technically gets me a Lotus, but I have to give them 2 cards up front. So we're going to give them 2 cards up front here. Hope that I'm not dead. Whir of Invention for 0. Pass the turn. They make a Construct. If they have like a Lava Spur Boots, I'm dead. I don't know if this deck plays Lava Spur Boots. It does. Yep. That is lethal. Alright, we can just go to the next game. Let's bring in Haywire Might, Aether Spellbomb, Breeding Pool. We probably want into the Flood Maw. We do not need Vexing Bauble. That can be boarded out. Board down 1 Conjurer's Bauble. We'll take out 1 Hallowed Fountain for the Breeding Pool. Board down to 2 Beseech the Mirror. Actually, no. Let's just take out Preordains. I feel like this is a racing matchup and we just need to race. So, you know what? I'll board out 1 Beseech. We'll keep 2 Preordain. Let's try this. Okay. Sure, we'll keep. We have to find a Lotus Bloom somehow. But we do have both of our Preordain, so maybe we find a Reshape or something. And then this hand is very good. We'll play Preordain. I think we want both of these. Pass the turn. They have Sigarda's Aid. Very good opener. Ornithopter, Mox Opal. I mean, I could be dead on turn 2. We'll play Urza Saga. We'll play Chromatic Star. Conjurer's Bauble. Play the Mox Opal. We need to find Reshape here. Preordain. Both those Lotus Blooms can go on the bottom. Another land. Okay. I was really hoping to draw Reshape. March of Otherworldly Light on my Saga. That's not very nice. Ornithopter. Another land. Stoneforge Mystic. So now next turn they're going to have a Colossus Hammer. They search it out. Okay, so that gives me another turn here. Beseech the Mirror. That I can't play. We'll play the Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. So I have 2 black mana, but I don't have a third. Because this could have gotten Lotus Bloom. Pure Steel Paladin, Colossus Hammer. So they're going to put it on Ornithopter. They play Saga. They have one more card left in hand. No blocks. So this is 11. Come on, Reshape. And we draw another land. Okay, so what does a winning game look like? I don't know. We'll make black. Let's Conjurer's Bauble to put Preordain on the bottom. We draw another land. I think we're just dead. There's no Watery Grave for the Beseech the Mirror. Gavin told me we didn't need it when I asked, by the way. So Gavin, you know, this one might be on you. Geez. So I have to draw Reshape off the Chromatic Star. It's the only way. We'll draw Chromatic Sphere. There is no way to get up to Chromatic Sphere mana, by the way. So even if I played out this... So if I had floated black off the Opal, black off Chromatic Star, played Chromatic Sphere, filtered a black, I end up 1 mana short of being able to win. So I guess if I had drawn like a Zurin Orb at some point in here, that could have been okay too. But we didn't draw Zurin Orb. Before I concede, I'm just trying to think everything through. So if I play Island... I guess I could still cycle into something off... Could I cycle into... No, Reshape makes me 1 mana short. We'll cycle the Star for a blue, right? No, Reshape actually would have done it there. So I did have another draw off the Chromatic Sphere. But we just drew blanks. Okay. That was a little disappointing. I felt like this probably should have been a good matchup, but instead we just got smushed. We're now 2-2. 1 match left to go. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? The final round, we're on the draw. I'm going to keep this hand. It's a little risky, but the potential for an explosive hand is just there. Let's hope that the opponent is not on a blue deck. Arid Mesa. Mountain. They're on Hollow One. Okay. Here they go. Burning Inquiry. That just made my hand even better. Okay. Well, they have a very fast start here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up with this. I needed that Reshape. We'll play the Urza Saga. Suspend Lotus Bloom. Play Chromatic Sphere. Play Mox Opal. And we'll pass. Yeah, I guess I wanted to keep the Reshape. They fetch with Arid Mesa. Very Stomping Ground. Detective's Phoenix. So this is 7 damage coming in. My bad. 9 damage coming in because they can pump the Root Walla. Holy moly. Very fast start. Lotus Bloom loses a suspend counter. We'll draw. We needed another artifact or something there. I'm afraid we're not going to be able to win now. Because our only hope was Whir of Invention into Lotus. So maybe the Burning Inquiry was good enough to win. They play a land. And now they attack. They can pump up the the Blazing Root Walla once again. And that will be 9, putting me to 2. Okay. Here goes nothing. We have to draw into the win. Scalding Tarn. I don't know if that does anything here. So I could get a... So how we win this game is I draw into Reshape. We have 3 of them left. I could put a Conjurer's Bauble into play. And then put the Reshape in our deck on the bottom. And then shuffle our deck. So that way I could potentially draw 1 more. Is that the line? Alright, so we'll grab Conjurer's Bauble. Tap Opal for a blue. We'll put the Reshape on the bottom. We draw Lotus Bloom. Great. We will fetch. I am at 1 life now. We will cycle the Chromatic Sphere. We hit Reshape. Oh my. We actually did it. We'll sacrifice the Opal. Grab Lotus Bloom. Sacrifice the Lotus Bloom. Play Whir of Invention for 0. Are we doing it? Grab Lotus Bloom. Sacrifice for white. Faith's Reward. Okay, so we're not in a winning spot yet. I will sacrifice Lotus Bloom for black. Tap the Saga. Tap the Opal for a white. We'll Beseech the Mirror. Bargain away the Opal. And I'm actually going to go grab... I didn't need to bargain, but I'm doing it. I'm actually going to go grab Zurin Orb here. The reason to bargain the Opal is that it will come into play untapped off of the next Faith's Reward. Grab Zurin Orb. sacrifice the Saga, sacrifice the Island, and now we can fetch, pull another Island out of the deck, tap it for mana, and then sacrifice it. Conjurer's Bauble to put Fate's Reward on the bottom. Ooh, he spiked another Reshape. I don't think I have another Lotus Bloom, though. So maybe I'm not supposed to play it. We'll make blue, make a white, another Reshape. Fate's Reward, Saga, okay. Can't believe we're now going to be in a spot to win this game. It felt impossible, but here we are. Fetch. We'll grab the basic island, make some mana. Let's sacrifice our lands. Sweet, all the way up to 13. And then we will play Beseech Citadel. What's nice with having 2 Reshape in hand is they're guaranteed shuffles. This was a really sweet one. Chromatic Star, this will put us at 12. Alright, so I will tap the Mox Opal for a blue. We're going to hold priority and play Beseech the Mirror down to 8. With this on the stack, I'm going to make 3 more blue. We'll put Fate's Reward on the bottom. We'll draw a card. We will draw another card. And now Beseech the Mirror. Go grab Fate's Reward. We'll play it. There's a Saga. Okay, we will play Chromatic Sphere down to 7 life. Use Zern Orb to sacrifice Scalding Tarn just to gain life. Zern Orb to sacrifice more stuff. All the way up to 17. We'll play Preordain. Bottom the Saga, keep Preordain on top. Mox Opal will tap for a blue, play the Opal, keep the new one. Play Chromatic Star, Fate's Reward. Okay, so we're going to hold priority, play Fate's Reward, and now we will use the Lotus Citadel, sacrifice to itself. I believe I have 10 permanents. I had exactly 10. And now Fate's Reward will win the game. So they'll lose 10. Fate's Reward will keep that Mox Opal. I feel like it's actually easier to just, like, go find the Pirate Spellbomb at this point. Sacrifice Chromatic Star. Okay. So we draw the Beseech, and now we'll go grab the Pirate Spellbomb. Tap for a red. And we'll Spellbomb you. You can't say that I didn't win with Pirate Spellbomb this league. I have done it. Okay, so now we need to get a post-board game where our opponent's probably bringing in Leyline of the Void. We'll bring it into the Flood Maw, the Breeding Pool, Haywire Might. We most likely want Soul Guide Lantern. I don't know about the Aether Spellbomb. We don't need Vexing Bauble. Probably side out Preordain. Or down to 1 Hallowed Fountain. Take out 1 Conjurer's Bauble. And maybe 1 Beseech the Mirror. Let's try this. Okay, this hand is actually pretty similar to the hand we kept in game 1. I'm going to keep it. No Leyline of the Void. Burning Inquiry. They discard Reshape Chromatic Sphere Pirate Spellbomb. Okay. We'll play Lotus Bloom. Play Urza Saga. And then the Conjurer's Bauble. Pass the turn. They discarded a hollow one. That was very good for me. Mountain number 2. They pump, will take 3. And another Blazing Rootwalla. Lotus Bloom loses a counter. Into the Flood Maw. Okay, not a bad draw. We'll play the Cephalid Coliseum. Pass. So I like the Flood Maw here for just buying time for Lotus Bloom to come off suspend. They swing, no blocks. They pump, and they pump. Alright, so I will take 1 in order to bounce their Blazing Rootwalla here. So this saves me 2 damage in the long run. Okay, Lotus Bloom down to 1 counter. We'll draw for turn. Another Urza Saga. We'll tap for a colorless. So this is a pretty interesting spot on what you're supposed to do. I think I'm supposed to just get Zern Orb. We'll play another Urza Saga and we'll pass. So my thought process here is that next turn, I can reshape off of Lotus Bloom, sacrificing the Zern Orb to go get another Lotus Bloom, play Beseech Citadel, sacrifice my lands and win. You could try to get a filter, like a Chromatic Star there, and then go get the other Lotus Bloom now. But if they have Meltdown, you just get destroyed. And they did have Meltdown. So that actually hurts because we need this Zern Orb. We'll put Reshape on the bottom. We might be able to still win on my turn anyway. I say might, but I don't actually know. So we're going to get Lotus Bloom. And then I could Whir of Invention for another Lotus Bloom. And then Beseech the Mirror for Faith's Reward, which would allow me to play Citadel, but I don't have anything to reshape. So if I draw like a 1-mana artifact or a 0-mana artifact, we would be in business. We'll play the Lotus Bloom. Draw for turn. We did not draw the artifact I wanted. But I might be able to Cephalid Coliseum into one at one point. So let's just start by playing Whir of Invention for another Lotus Bloom. We'll grab Lotus Bloom, tap the Saga for a black. I'm sorry, the Saga for colorless. So we would do black off the Lotus Bloom, and then that gets Faith's Reward. So if I play the Saga here, I could actually chain Beseeches, and it would make a mana in the long run. But I would lose my land drop for Citadel. I don't think that's worth it. So we'll Beseech the Mirror, sacrificing the Saga. Grab Faith's Reward. We'll play it. Saga will trigger. So we need to find another Conjurer's Bauble. There's only one left in the deck, but then I could put Zernorb on the bottom and then search for it with Reshape. We will play Bolas's Citadel, floating a blue. This way I can use the Cephalid Coliseum. We'll play Chromatic Star. Whir of Invention would put me down to 8. Let's hold priority and play the Whir. Alright, there's no Faith's Reward on top. We'll grab another Lotus Bloom. Play the Opal. There's the Conjurer's Bauble. Let's go. So now we'll put Zernorb on the bottom of the deck. I will use the Lotus Bloom for blue. Tap the Opal for a white. And we'll reshape. Sacrifice the Opal. We'll go grab Zernorb. Sacrifice the Saga, going up to 9. We'll play our land for the turn. Let's draw a card using Chromatic Star. Okay. Another Cephalid Coliseum. I'll draw 3 using Cephalid Coliseum. Reshape is on top. We'll discard 3 lands here. Actually, let's keep Otawara, just in case. Tap the island for a blue. We'll play Reshape. Let's gain 2 life first. We'll play Reshape, sacrificing the Zernorb. This can grab another Lotus Bloom. The last Lotus Bloom. Soul Guide Lantern down to 8. Exile their hollow one. Let's draw a card. Faith's Reward. Boom! Chromatic Sphere. Soul Guide Lantern. Target their Meltdown. Sacrifice the Lotus Bloom for blue. We will now Faith's Reward, holding priority. And then I will cycle the Chromatic Sphere for a white. And then we'll cycle the Soul Guide Lantern. Okay, everyone's coming home. Feels good. Alright, we will target a few cards in their graveyard. The Saga now taps for mana. We'll tap our lands. And then sacrifice them to Zernorb. This deck is so sweet. I love it. Sacrifice the island. Play Haywire Might. Okay. We'll put Faith's Reward on the bottom with the Bauble. We'll activate Cephalid Coliseum. Actually, no, we'll activate the Coliseum. We'll target myself. Discard some lands. I'll go to 6 life, play Chromatic Star. We'll filter for a green, because I could then use the Haywire Might at some point. I'll reshape, going down to 4, sacrifice Mox Opal, and then I can go grab another Mox Opal. We will draw a card using Soul Guide Lantern. Okay, Beseech, that's great. We will draw the Beseech the Mirror. Tap the Opal for a black. We'll play another Mox Opal. Play a Haywire Might. Sacrifice Lotus Bloom. And I will Beseech the Mirror with Bargain. Sacrificing a Haywire Might up to 6. 1 mana short of doing what I wanted to do. That's a bummer. I thought I could Citadel win right there. So we're going to play Faith's Reward. And we'll just make a bunch of mana here. Okay. We'll draw a card. Make a blue. Faith's Reward. There's only 12 cards left in the deck. Like, we're going to draw the other reward pretty quickly here. We'll Soul Guide Lantern our own lands because I have to target something. And now Urza's Saga will gain some life using the Zernorb. This will put me up to 10. Sacrifice the Saga. We'll draw 3. This way I can keep more permanents in play. 9 cards left in deck. We find the Faith's Reward. Perfect. Okay, so we'll tap Opal. We will now Bolas's Citadel. We have to sacrifice itself. Yes. Okay, so we're sacrificing everything. Citadel. Fate's Reward. Sweet. Choose the new... Like, it doesn't matter. I just have to finish clicking on my triggers at this point. Okay. And now we will boss a Citadel again. Triggers. We did it. Feels good. Gavin, thank you for the donation deck. I really do appreciate it. 3-2. Not bad. I feel a little bit disappointed that the deck kind of just did not work against Hammer Time. But losing to the best deck in the format, the Dimir Frogtide deck, that was a very close match that just did not go our way. So a little like disheartening, but overall, I think that this was a great league. Egg showed a lot of promise. I loved the Whir of Invention innovation. That felt so good, just being able to get out a bunch of Lotus Blooms very quickly. That felt very good. I love Beseech the Mirror and Fate's Reward. Like, basically, the top end of this deck, I feel like, is perfect. I wonder if going down on Conjurer's Bauble is right, meaning I like going down to 3. I wonder if you could even go down to 2 in order to fit another utility card in the main deck. The deck doesn't feel like it's about looping Faith's Reward anymore, as much as it is like putting a card you need on the bottom occasionally. It's just like 4 Conjurer's Bauble feels like a lot because the deck is no longer like it was in 2012 or 2013. So that's my thought there. I loved everything. I think I'd cut the Silent Gravestone moving forward. I'd probably play like Shadow Spear there because Shadow Spear would have beaten Oculus out of the Dimir Frogtide deck, where Silent Gravestone is only there to beat Surgical Extraction, but we have double Vexing Bauble. So why do we need Silent Gravestone? And you have Soul Guide Lantern for the Graveyard deck. So Shadow Spear here is what I would recommend. The only change I would make. Gavin, thank you once again. I hope everyone appreciated Gavin's donation deck, and I hope that you liked the video. Like, comment, subscribe, support us, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, keep storming. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. After you do that, open up our description where you can find all of our social media networks, including our Discord, where you can discuss today's deck in that Discord with me and tons of other combo masterminds. It's absolutely free to join, and it's certainly worth your while.